Our next guest on the pod we met this year at the Boston Run Show. He's a masshole with a big heart as he's committed to making all feel welcome in fitness. He might be related to Sidney Crosby as he has some Nova Scotia ties. But we are here to hear all about his running journey, and we're wicked excited to welcome Ben Crosby to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, Ben?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate you calling out the Nova Scotia tie because obviously I must be related. And
I swear to God, you were in the background of some Stanley Cup party photos. You just have to keep a low profile. You can't tell everyone because everyone's going to be like, hey, dude, can I get tickets to go see the Crosby play the Bruins or whatever? Like, no one would do that. Not me.
yeah, just don't Google those photos to find out if that's true or not.
There may or may not have been a T-shirt on or off. But no, like I said, we're here to talk about you and not get tickets to the Penguins game. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to chat with you both. So yeah, I'm doing fantastic. How about you guys?
We're doing pretty well, and we're super excited to have you. And I told you, if you said you were a masshole, he was going to use it. So
You called
he's
that.
very predictable, but he said it with love. So welcome to the podcast, Ben. Great to have you.
Thank
So-
you.
What does it take to be a masshole? Do you need to grow up in Massachusetts, or can you just be born in Massachusetts? Do you need long-term ties to Massachusetts? Or like, I was born in Boston. I lived in Mass until I was 2.5 when we moved to New Hampshire. Can I be a masshole? Or I think I know the answer, but I want to hear yours now.
I think you would be absolutely a masshole. I think that states north of Massachusetts would then absolutely say you are not allowed to be from them, and that you are absolutely a flatlander from Massachusetts. And so, yes, although I've lived in other places, born and grew up here, so I am through and through a beloved masshole.
And that's where you are now?
Yeah, I'm just south of Boston. I'm on the South Shore in Weymouth. So
I honestly think it all depends on how you say your R's. How do you say your R's?
I think I say my R's pretty well. It
very
doesn't come out that
deceptive.
much, but if you heard my kids, actually somehow, don't ask us how, our kids' names basically rhyme. It's Harper and Parker. So I just gave away that I don't really have the masshole
Hopper and
R.
Parker.
But if you listen to my son, when he calls his sister, he goes, Hoppa, Hoppa. Yep, he's 3, and he has there's no R's.
That's adorable.
It's pretty damn cute, actually. It's really damn cute.
Oh, that's cute.
So I think I came up with the answer for how you are a masshole while I was talking about it. Like, it just came to my head. You are a masshole if you have mass plates. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah. You have mass plates, you're a masshole. You drive like a masshole.
You're just trying to back out of it.
I'm proud of my New Hampshire roots. I love it up here. Even when I lived in North Carolina, I would be like, nope, I'm from New Hampshire. The only thing I like to say sometimes is, yeah, I was born in Boston. That makes me a diehard Bruins fan. I'm born. I'm one of them.
Your use of wicked also kind of solidifies.
But that's a New England thing.
Is it though?
Yeah, Boston's more the Oz. Wicked's a New England thing.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I say it too. I'm guilty.
Not Connecticut, though. Connecticut's not New England. We
It's just an
established
extension
that.
of New York.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So, but yeah, dude, we met at the Boston Run Show. I think you're with Mr. 305, as I like to call him, and you guys you just did a race that day, I think, in the Garden.
So I had not. So I didn't do a race that day, but I was going to check it out because honestly, I would consider myself pretty new to the run scene for the most part, especially in Boston, which has such a wildly, vibrant run scene. And so that was my first time at the run show. I knew a bunch of people who told me I should go, and so I went and checked it out. But yeah, I knew Steve through we were internet friends.
Nice.
The good old internet.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love my
Yeah.
internet friends. So
Yep.
you can find some good people on the internet.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So if you are new to the running scene and you're showing up to a run show for the first time, was it overwhelming for you, or like what were your thoughts and vibes about the Boston Run Show?
So I did feel like a fish out of water. There's no doubt about that. But it was cool. I felt pretty lucky because I've gotten to know a lot of people through the marathon sports community. I've gotten to know a bunch of people there. And so luckily with that, I oftentimes see familiar faces, which makes
Good.
me feel slightly less out of water. But yeah, it was cool. It was wild. Just all the vendors and all the stuff they had. I was told very, very explicitly by my wife that I was not allowed to come home with a cold plunge.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing because it just looked pretty awesome.
So you came home with a sauna instead.
Yeah, exactly. So you weren't explicit enough about what I couldn't bring home.
You said no cold plunge. That's it.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Good.
I came home with a flip belt.
Me too.
I went
And
saying I'm not going to buy anything, and then you go, I just want to see the flip belt table. That's all I want to see. And you brought me there, and I'm like, this is pretty great.
And it's
awesome.
funny, you've used it more than I have.
I used it all. Oh, I didn't have it today, and I was so upset because it was in. I actually put it in the laundry, and I took it out of the laundry this morning. And then I went to work, and I realized I forgot my freaking flip belt. And I had to carry my phone, which I used to always do, and now I hate it. But yeah, I miss my flip belt. But dude, we're not here for me. But yeah, we met. You were super cool. I think you kind of, told us a little bit about your story there, your journey and everything. I think a lot of it has to do with, running bodies and weight loss and everything. And so if you're new to running, like what broke the ice? What got you to, I don't know, go get the first pair of running shoes or something, or go take some steps outside and turn your watch on and run?
Yeah. So, you kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of, I feel new to running, but I actually feel pretty confident saying that I feel like a runner now.
Good.
I can say there was a long time where I did not feel that way. It has been a journey that's happened over the past number of years, but I really dove into it. Well, actually, the very first race I ever ran, it was a combination of, I was about to have our first kid, and beer, which, one motivated me for one way and one for another way. But when we found out that my wife was pregnant, I had always been interested in sports my entire life, and I played sports my entire life, but I've always been a big dude, and that's always come with its own struggles. And when I was younger, it came with a whole lot of emotional baggage too, because, kids can be just plain mean, and apparently some adults can too, but thankfully not nearly as many. So, when we found out, I was like, I just want to make sure that I'm the dad that can wrestle on the ground, who can play with my kids, who can introduce them and keep up with them for as long as I can. And to make sure that, as I age and as they get older, I don't just turn into the one who has to sit and watch. I want to do everything in my power to make sure that I can stay involved, and stay active with the kids. So that was the one thing. And then, so I am a masshole, but I spent a large chunk of my life living in Vermont. And so there's a key, there's much love in my heart for Vermont. And so the first race a friend ever pointed out to me that I signed up for was the Heady Trotter up in Waterbury, Vermont. So by the Alchemist Brewery. So if people are familiar with Heady Topper, the beer that once was, the most ridiculously sought after thing in the universe.
Impossible to get.
Yeah. But if you ran that race, you got a free beer and a free cider donut. And so in my head, I said, why wouldn't I do that?
Good incentive.
And so that's where I started training. And that's what led me to buy my first shoes, because I had shoes that were, I think, wildly over supportive in the arch, and it caused me to have like insane ankle pain. I didn't know what was going on, and walked into the running store at Marathon Sports for the first time ever, which was a little intimidating because I did not feel like a runner. And they were super nice, and they actually made me feel, welcome, which was huge. And they found me a pair of shoes, and all of a sudden the next day I went for a run and it didn't hurt. And it was just mind blowing. And kind of in that moment when it didn't hurt anymore, I said, damn, I can actually, I think I can do this.
It is like a game-changing thing, right? Once you find the pair of shoes that fit your body right and can get you moving in the way that you should, the correct form, it is honestly a game changer. I went through that when I first started with like shin splints and stuff like that, and just a change of shoes. That's all I needed.
Do you remember the shoes that you had?
Yes, actually. I was slightly disappointed at the time. I will admit I am a kind of a flashy person. I like bright colors and
Oh
exciting
yeah.
colors. And the shoes they fitted me for were a pair of Brooks, but they were the Brooks Dyad. And the Brooks Dyad came in like excellent, either I'm gonna be a dad who's mowing the lawn color,
So they're dad shoes.
yeah, or like a good neutral gray that you'd see somebody who just went through retirement walking down the street in. And so there was a part of me that was a little bummed, but then when I realized that I could actually run and do what I wanted to do, I kind of got over that.
Gotcha. Color's not the most important thing, but I get it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. The prettier the color, like I'm like, ooh,
Yep, yeah, exactly.
shiny.
It's like a bug zapper.
Yeah,
So-
honestly.
Take me back to like the running store and the people who met you there. Like you said, you were kind of pleasantly surprised and also happy the way they treated you. Like, what do you go in there and what do you tell them? Like, I'm a first time runner, or like I just ran something and I want to do more. How did that conversation go? And tell me about their interaction with you to get you what you needed.
Yeah, so like the insecurities driving things forward like they were at the time, because big guy walking into a running store, so on and so forth. I remember when I walked up and met the person, who was about to help me, I kept, giving all these little like caveats. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to train for my first race. It's only this long, and I just, my feet are really hurting me. And I know I'm not running like a ton. I'm only doing like intervals, but but this, but that, just this, just that. Just little little things that we do whenever we kind of undercut ourselves from the fact that we're still just trying to do something great. And we kind of forget that. And so I was saying that, and they just smiled and they listened and they, didn't stop me or whatever. They just heard what I had to say. And then when I finally got through all my, spiel, and they heard, they said, okay, well, let's talk about this for a second. And not only did they start working to find the shoe with me, but they kind of educated me. It was clear that they could see that I'm kind of I'm an analytical type brain that likes to understand what's happening. And so they explained to me why the shoe I was in was causing me the pain that it was causing me. And I did love it. What did they say? They said, I like to say that your arch is flexible. And I looked at her and I said, are you saying I have flat feet? She's like, that's a nice way to say you have flat feet.
There you go.
But the way they explained it was, where a lot of people need the support under their arch, mine wants to do this when it's running.
Oh.
And so what happened in my old shoe was, because it couldn't, it was pushing that to like this kind of movement on the outside, causing that pain. And so and then they're like, we're going to try these shoes. And I, did some jogging in the store. And it was just the fact that I think, to boil it down, they heard me, they made me feel like they understood, and because they did understand, and then they treated me like they would treat anybody else, which in hindsight shouldn't be that surprising. But when you don't necessarily feel the part, it was pretty impactful at the time.
I think that's super, super useful that they gave you that information too. So you're not locked into that one pair of shoes that they sold you. Like you can take that information and do what you want with it. So now you're more knowledgeable, and that should hopefully make you more confident in the choices that you make in the future for whatever running gear you need. So way to go, Marathon Sports. I think that's awesome.
You know what I love about going to buy shoes is the experience you have. I have the same thing. So I tend to buy a lot of shoes online because I know what fits me. I know my size, and it's always the same one or two different shoes, right? It's the New Balance A80s or some Sauconys, okay?
It's hard to find the kind that gets you there, right?
Right.
So once you know what you want, you're good.
But it also, for me, it's a huge time saver. Like, I don't have all the time in the world to go to a running store, even though there's one 2 miles away. Right? Well, I love talking to them too. You're right. But I love when I go and I want the whole experience. Okay. So I go there and I hope I get someone, and to me, they sound like an expert. And I feel like I'm getting an expert opinion. and you go and you stand on one of those devices and it scans your foot. And I can't remember what my foot is right. It's pretty normal, but they might tell me something here or there. And I don't remember months later, but I remember then. And they explained to me the kind of shoe I want and why I shouldn't go for the big, flashy $250 something, Hoka, and I should go for this simple New Balance or whatever, or vice versa. So I feel like when I go there, and I feel like everyone should go there once a year and get a proper shoe fitting.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I've been lucky enough to interact with a lot of people via Instagram, who've heard my story and relate in some way, shape, or form. And I do get asked a lot kind of about that starting point. And I do constantly, suggest exactly that, to go, running is unique. It's not like other things, go to the people who know what they're talking about, because I mean, we spend 2/3 of our every day of our life, we said a lot, but you spend a good chunk of your entire life on your feet, and your feet support your entire weight. It's one of those areas that truly is worth investing in. And if you're going to do that, go to the people who know what they're talking about.
Right. And buy a pair of UFOs. No free ads, but buy a pair of UFOs.
I want to say that was Denise Freeman's Code Brown commandment was take care of your feet. Thou shalt take care of your feet. It is one of the most important things.
So do you remember what you were running in before you took a visit to Marathon Sports?
Oh, gosh. Not the specific model of shoe. I think it was some form of an Asics.
So it was a running shoe, but it wasn't right for you.
Exactly. It was a running shoe that I'm pretty sure I got back. Do you guys remember the Sports Authority?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think they're gone now. There was a Sports Authority in Watertown where I walked in and picked my own shoe out, and everything like that. And I was like, oh, these look good. Ooh, they have lime green on them.
Yeah.
Again, Bug Zapper,
Been there.
colors. And I was like, these look great. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much how it went down.
Well, I'm glad you had at least a running shoe and not Keds or something. So
That's right,
you were in the right direction, but Marathon Sports just helped you get the rest of the way.
I was running in Sperry's. No.
Boat shoes, I love
Well,
it.
we've had some people on who ran before running watches were a thing, and we're talking before GPSs and all that, and they're in some Adidas something flat shoe, and it's funny. So, but yeah, you might do a local 5K turkey trot, and you see someone in just basic tennis shoes. It's kind of fun. It's funny, and then you go to a run store, and you're like, wow. And it's pretty amazing what
Options
they can do there.
Options are limitless.
Yeah, yeah. So go get your feet scanned. This is not a free ad, but we do like Marathon Sports. And go get your foot scanned. Go talk to the experts and be like Ben.
Hi, Chris Lewis. I felt like I had to drop that in there.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. But yeah, dude. So you're also a dad. Tell us about father life.
Fatherhood's a trip.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys chat about this. I got my cats.
Yeah, it is a trip. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old now, so that first race ended up being when my now 5-year-old was 3 weeks old. Actually, God bless my wife for coming with us, and we drove up to Stowe. It actually was snowing that morning, and I run this race, and my wife has 3-week-old, sitting here bundled up around her. But yeah, 5 and 3, 5-year-old girl, 3-year-old boy.
So Harper's 5. Parker's 3.
Yep. And it was actually funny because we always knew that the boy, if we had a boy, was going to be Parker. It's a family name. But the girl name was a little bit harder for us to pick, and then we settled on Harper. And then when we found out we had a boy one day, I just looked at her. I said, "Shit." Their names are gonna rhyme.
They have such a nice ring to it. It overrides all that stuff. You're good.
And so half the time we are yelling across the house, and I'll be like Harper, and Parker will be like, "Huh?" Maybe that's
called H&P or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that sums up fatherhood.
Yeah.
Well,
hey. I do it with Tommy and Tyler all the time. And part of it's they're twins, but naturally I want to say Tommy first. And if I get, I feel bad for Tommy because if I need Tyler or Tyler's doing something, I'll be like, Tyler. I'm scanning through your Instagram page though, and it seems like throughout this journey of yours, you post a lot of you and your kids, and you go hiking, skiing. You got them on the backpack. You got them on strollers, maybe snowshoeing. They're even doing yoga with you. Like you're very
That's
involved, or
great.
they're very involved in what you
Active
do.
family.
Yeah, I love to see that.
Yeah, I mean we're huge skiers. My wife and I met skiing. We both were ski instructors up in Vermont, however many years ago, and that's how we met. So I've always like I kind of said, always been an outdoor movement type of person, despite my size. And but I try not to let anything like that stop the enjoyment of it. So yeah, when they were small enough to fit in a backpack, hiking all the time. We took, we've got them on skis last winter for the first time. My daughter picked it up wildly fast. She's going to be very good. And so I'm already prepping the wallet for that.
Yeah, you know what? It's not as bad as dance, dude. Dance is worse. We
Oh,
go
man.
skiing every weekend with my daughter.
Yeah.
It's not as
You
bad.
two have so much in common. This is
Yeah.
Look
awesome.
at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Gorgeous looks too. Both of us.
Someone's gotta.
It's hard living this life, but someone has to be beautiful, and Ben and I just do it well.
Dramatic pause. But yeah, so I mean, we try to get them out, we try to get them moving, and our kids are totally active. I'm pretty sure they have my ADD.
Yes,
so they're
nice.
all over they're all over the place. We try to keep them going, but it's a blast because I know a lot of parents struggle, and I don't know if you felt this, sometimes it's a struggle. Some people, bring kids into the world and they feel like, oh, my old life's over. And, my wife and I try very hard to continue what we enjoy in life just with them as part of it. And it does change. Absolutely.
Yes.
The things we can do aren't always the same, but the value and joy in the new things that we can do with them. I mean, watching my daughter, like skiing greens all day at Wachusett, it was not my idea of how I'd spend X amount of dollars, but watching her in front of me go from, needing to push against my hands to all of a sudden now she's linking her turns together and she's just she no fear. Like they're I would take that over a powder day.
Yes. No, totally. I love it. It's the coolest thing I've done. Like, well, it's one of the coolest things we do together is we go skiing together. And what I love about it is we're both skiing. Even if I'm on the green, which now I'm not, I joke like she can ski black diamonds, but just figured out how to ride a bike. I love it. And I'm going to start taking the boys this year. And yeah, we'll spend a lot of time on the greens and in an area of Ragged Mountain called the Barnyard. But it will be a lot of fun. And it's super cool. And when you do those kind of sports with your kids, you get to do them too. Versus if they play soccer or dance, I mentioned dance, you go to the dance studio and you sit in a waiting room for 45 minutes while they go through dance class. It's like, oh, I would rather be skiing with you and be on the chairlift. I'd rather be stuck on a chairlift as the chairlift broke down and it's windy than sitting in this waiting room right now. It's so fun. And your pictures, dude, it's all your weight loss journey and your running journey or adventures with your kids. Like you got them on the backpack doing trails and mountains, and you don't let your size get in the way of a good time, especially with the kids. So, but dude, you're doing it well. You're doing it right, and I'm proud of you for that. And keep it up. And let's take our kids skiing this year. But
Deal.
let's talk about this weight loss journey because go to Ben's Instagram page, A Better Ben, and you're going to see some big changes in your shape, your body, your look. You got those big T-shirts on, right? And then you take a photo a few months later and you're showing how much room is in the T-shirt. Like you probably bought a whole new wardrobe. Tell us this journey that you've been on.
Yeah. So, the weight loss journey has had its ups and downs, but I think that's what means it's real. I think, a few years ago, I almost can't like talk about it without talking about running. But, when I first started running, I had this mindset of, hey, this is going to be one of those good ways that I work out to, help burn the calories to lose weight. And I think a lot of people who get into running recognize that actually that's not the easiest, 1-2 punch there because it, makes you want to eat everything in sight after a long run. But I kind of it really kind of coincided. It was not long before COVID that it was like after a Thanksgiving weekend, and I ended up stepping on the scale, and I saw the number, and I freaked out and basically said, "What the hell are you letting yourself do? You said you were gonna get healthier for the kids, blah blah blah." And so I tried to start early on, and I had some success, and but throughout the whole thing, what was required of me was looking at it from actually a place of respect for myself,
Mhm.
as opposed to a place of anger and frustration at myself and hatred. A lot of us look in the mirror and have serious hatred of our look. We put ourselves down, we say some things that we would never allow ourselves to say to somebody else. And what I've realized through my own journey is I do not achieve success when that is the motivating factor pushing me. What helped me achieve success was when I realized, hey, I just finished this race for the first time. My body can do amazing things despite my size. Which means, what now? What more can I do if I love myself and recognize my own potential enough that I want to invest further in myself? And so, for the first 2 years, I kind of had that shift. I think I lost 67 plus pounds, give or take. It was pretty monumental. And but then I had our son was born, and I had a few other things go on that kind of made me backslide.
Mhm.
And I gained some of it back, and I'm now sitting in a place of, I don't know, I'm probably like still down 30 pounds from where I started. So I'm somewhere in the middle, 20 to 30. And I've been doing a lot of bobbing and weaving, but I think it's a lot because there's, I'll be honest, there's just a lot going on in my life with, difficulties with extended family and, other things. And one of the things I try to help people also understand is, when we do respect ourselves, right? Like if you invest your money, if you see something worth investing in, they say play the long game, right? Because if you play short games, most of the time you lose.
Mhm.
um you kind of have to look at your body and your health a similar way, that it is a journey. And despite what some of the Instagram influencers will tell you, or TikTokers will tell you out there, you don't live in a bubble. It's not just a simply grit your teeth, no excuses life, because life's messy and stuff happens. And so that's kind of helped me, where I've continued my run journey. I've continued achieving new and better things, and my health is still improving, although like not every day looks the same. So
Mhm.
that I'd say, like in a nutshell, that's what I'm the most proud of, is despite, I'm still trying to lose weight, because I just want, it's just gonna, there's clear benefits to my longevity, but I'm not letting that number, whether it goes down this week or this month or up the next month because of whatever's going on, I'm not letting that number stop me from continuing to go after all those things that I know I can achieve with, the effort.
I have to say you have the best attitude towards your weight loss journey. Just respecting yourself. A lot of people, myself included, like it that is so hard to do, to realize that you we are our own worst enemies, or like we're our own worst critics, and it's so hard to just get over that hump and just realize that you deserve the respect that you would give to anybody else. And I love that that's the point that you're coming through, and that through your Instagram page and in life in general, you're just showing that there are the ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster. It's not easy, and you could hit those setbacks, but as long as you kind of stay focused on yourself and just keep respecting yourself, you're going to head in the right direction. So I'm just so proud of you for doing that. And it, even just to me, it helps to remember, just respect yourself.
Yeah, it's it was absolutely the most pivotal shift for me.
Mm.
And it just helps everything else kind of set in place when when you're able to step back and realize, wait a second, how many people look at me and how do they view me? And when you realize that you have so many people around you who the first thing they see isn't the shape, it's not the number, it's not anything else. They see the human, they see the love, they see the impact that you have on their lives and other lives around you. And when you realize that your value is built up of so much more, like, yes, you still have your goals because health is important and you should try to make your health as good as it can be for your life. But when you step back and realize that perspective, it it's monumental in the why I'm trying to improve my health. So.
Yeah. And it's not a linear thing. It's just you will suffer some setbacks here and there, but that is life.
I want to share a photo. All right. So you talked about you lost like 60 something pounds and then you probably put 30 something on. You're a little bit in the middle. I think this photo was around maybe that max of that 60 something pounds. But I also don't think you look much different compared to the before photo. And I think a lot of that is, sure, maybe you put a little bit back on, but you're still very active. You're still running. You're still doing everything. And that's keeping the healthy look, right? So I'm going to share this photo so Eric kind of gets an idea here of what it used to be for Ben. Look at that, Erica.
I can
Look
tell
at the
a
difference in just all the facial features there of, and I think this is Ben today. The picture on the right, even though it was a while ago, I still think Ben looks that great today, and it's because of being active and still being part of the community and doing everything. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that photo. And there's a lot of other photos here of just the work that you put in and that you still put in. And let's be honest, you're still a big guy. Like, I'm a big guy, but you're still a big guy, and we know a lot of big guy runners. Steve 305 is still a big guy. Chad, the Clydesdale runner, like, he's the Clydesdale runner because he's a big guy, even though he's lost a ton of weight. Big guys can do this too. We can do these activities, and we feel freaking. Ben, I know you're probably above 200 pounds, just like me, but when you do this stuff, you feel freaking amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we don't need to be the 145-pound runner soaking wet to feel amazing. We feel freaking amazing no matter, as long as we're out there being active and doing our best to be healthy. So, dude, like Erica said, I echo that. Proud of you, dude.
I just want to say that running should be an inclusive sport. It doesn't matter your shape, your size, your weight. Just get out there and be active. It's healthy for you, well, as long as you do it in a healthy manner. But it is great exercise. It's good for your heart. Just getting active, and just don't listen to anybody about body types because it doesn't matter. If you run, you're a runner.
Absolutely.
Tell me about Our Place, Our Pace. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, so that's something that's been brewing in my head now for a little while. And I've kind of started, I probably prematurely kind of launched into it a little bit on the social media, but Our Place, Our Pace was something that really came out of my journey. And I spent a lot of time thinking about what it means to run, what it means to feel like you deserve to run, and what it means to do it in whatever way is right for you. I last year I had the chance to do the Boston medley for the first time. So I did the 5, the 10, and then the half marathon. And I never thought a half marathon would be anywhere close to, in the realm of possibility. And, the feeling at the end of that, as we were just saying, was one of the most, probably is the coolest feeling, the coolest athletic feeling that I have ever had. But, so, but you just kind of noted, if you run, you're a runner. And unfortunately, the voices we don't always want to hear are some of the loudest voices around us. And when you look on the internet, and when I have a really horrible habit of reading comments, and I shouldn't, but I do. And it's, people like just take, for example, all the chatter around the Boston Marathon cutoff times. And it brings out the best in some people, and it brings out the absolute worst in other people. And it made me step back and think, well, what the hell are we doing, and why are we doing this? And so Our Place, Our Pace it really means that where you run, the place that you do it, you deserve to be in that place. So if you step up to the starting line of the Boston Marathon, you don't have to you don't have to explain yourself as to why you're there, regardless if you're big or your race or your whatever qualifier people like to put onto people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to explain yourself, because that place is where you deserve to be in that moment. And then the our pace kind of continues that on where it is, and you can do it in the way that's right for you. I still very often interval run a lot of, whether it's I run walk most of my races because that's how I'm the most efficient. Some people would say that that's not real running. I would tell them to screw off.
Say it louder for
Because
the people in the back.
like, and so that's what our pace is, and what I'm hoping to build it into is, I think the vision is at some point to be something that goes along with a series of events or a series of activities that allows people to feel welcome in whatever way they are, in whatever place they are, to step into movement and feel like they belong to be there. I have a friend who I was talking to who said they were thinking of getting a gym membership, but they don't have a clue what to do the moment they step into a gym, because it feels so weird. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another example of, it doesn't matter, you belong in that place just as much as someone who goes every single day. And so that's really the thought behind our place, our paces, helping people, whether it's running or walking or biking or whatever movement it is. But, forget the qualifiers, just show up however you want to show up, and wherever you show up, if you don't, you deserve to be there. But if you don't feel like it, I will do my best to make sure that you deserve to be there.
Love your mindset, Ben. This is great. That's what we're champions for. We really want everything. We just want people to know that they're welcome. There are always people who are going to talk, and it's really unfortunate, especially on the internet, when you can hide behind a profile and nobody's going to see you, and
Keyboard
nobody's going to judge you.
warriors.
It's the worst.
Joe Schmo 25645J.
Honestly, that's so accurate.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But they're just going to spew bullshit, and I just try to ignore it. You yourself, the listeners, just try to ignore all the noise. Go out and be you. Just do what you love. You, like you said, you deserve to be there no matter your pace. It doesn't matter. Just you deserve it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, who has a bearing on your life, right? Does some random stranger on the internet actually have any tangible
I hope you use
impact
that
on
as
you?
fuel. Use it
Right?
as fuel, motivation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't know you, and therefore
Exactly.
they actually can't influence your life at all. And so either they mean nothing, which if they're spewing that stuff on the internet, they kind of are worthless. But or use it as fuel and motivation to prove that no, I do deserve to be here. Because at the end of the day, the people whose opinion in your life matters are going to be the ones who support you in what you're trying to do, especially if you're trying to better yourself.
Perfect message. I love it. So, Ben, you mentioned that you did the BAA distance medley. And recently, I think just like last week, we knew you were coming on, and we got the BAA newsletter. And I was like, oh my God, that's Ben. He's a featured athlete in this newsletter. So how did that come to be?
It came to be from Instagram.
Oh, awesome.
Though, as as wild as that is. So I, this running journey, I've been putting it on Instagram to, help make people feel that, hey, if you relate to this you can do it too. And one of the folks over at the BAA ended up, kind of catching it and seeing it and following along, and it really resonated with them. And so I formed this relationship where we meet up here, or when we see each other, it's great to see each other. But it was actually really awesome. He, at the end of the half marathon, was at the medley tent and made a point to stick around and wait and to congratulate me. And and I, it was funny. I was in this like post running a half marathon kind of daze, and it took me a minute to realize it was Rich. But like it was just so cool too, because like I don't know. I sometimes, or before kind of, we view these orgs as like these monoliths, oh, you put on the marathon, oh, and like, no, they're just full of normal people, right? Who can resonate with the story. And so we've kind of kept this relationship and connection alive, where, and they reached out to me again and they said, hey, we think your story, especially as we're in the midst of the medley, your story would resonate with people. Would you be okay with us featuring you on the newsletter? And I said, absolutely. And so it was pretty damn cool. I'm not going to lie. I was super flattered. I don't necessarily always feel like, I'm the right choice, but that's also, maybe those insecurities, from inside shouting out. But yeah, I was really, it was pretty cool. So I was thrilled.
Well, we were super excited to stumble across it. I opened it and I was like, that's Ben. We're having him on next week. Like, we were super excited about that.
Erica shares it with me and says the same thing. I go, yeah, I know.
Still, we were pumped for you.
What was like the process like after they asked you and you said yes? Did they just write something up, or did they send you a questionnaire? Was it like a phone call and they talked to you? Like, you even have a quote in there, and I think you're a man for quotes because I just wrote one down that you said earlier, and I'm pretty excited. But you go, I no longer see running as simply a means to weight loss, but a means to find new accomplishments. So what was the process like? How'd they come up with the little write-up on you in the newsletter?
Yeah, so we had some email back and forth where I, spoke with the guy Rich a bit, and he introduced me to some other folks within the org who do more of the work on the newsletter and the outreach and things like that. And so after a few kind of back and forth, they sent me a questionnaire, and asked me to kind of, give it a shot, answer some stuff, throw them a couple pictures. And so I did that, and then basically what they did is they took it and they kind of looked at it and tried to put it a little bit more into narrative form, and then they reached out to me and said, hey, are we keeping the spirit of your words alive here? Does this jive with the message that you wanted to get across? And so I had a chance to fix some of my grammatical errors that I saw in a couple quotes that I was like, I'm gonna get rid of that. But like, I had the chance to double check and make sure that it was the message I was trying to say. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
That's
I can only see the first. Oh, wait, maybe there's more pages if I just click next. Okay. And so they got photos in there of you. And how long was the write-up? Because I can only see the first paragraph, 2 paragraphs there.
I can't, because it was in web form, I couldn't tell you like pages per se, but it's like a 5 to 7 minute read, I think.
Oh, wow. So it's good read.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to read the whole thing because I just read I read what you wrote. Well, no, dude, I read the first page here and I read Ben's caption. Did you send me the actual like newsletter?
Yeah.
My bad.
I sent you the thing that I
My bad.
That's why I got all excited.
I'm going to leave.
Shame.
It's On the Runs with Erica and Ben. Bye.
So, you've done these awesome races. You've done like the Heady Trotter you were telling us about. You've done the BAI medley. What are some awesome stories you have for us with your running journey? Do you have any plans to do some more races? Like, what do you got coming up? Give us some deets.
Well, I'll give you a quick idea of the current plan, and then I'll go into some stories.
Yeah.
So I am training again for the BAA half right now, but I'm not using it as an end all. I'm actually I had to have a minor surgery this summer, but one that made me get off my feet for eight weeks.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm really feeling like that loss of fitness level. I'm like, oh shit. Every time I, get out the door, but I'm using it as
it's also been wicked hot and humid though.
Yeah.
Like, just wait until the sweater weather is really like in full force and you're going to feel you're going to feel like ultra Ben.
It was 52 degrees this morning, and
I know,
I say, I refer to it as basic Ben weather.
Basic Ben.
Yeah, so just put a flannel and some bean boots on me, and yes.
Amazing.
But so I'm training for the half, but I'm using the half as a base building exercise because, assuming I am able to do what I want to do, and I am able to lock in the organization and so on and so forth.
I feel like we got big news.
I think you can probably guess that, I have 3 BAA medals. Well, actually 4, because you get one for the medley, but I'm missing a very specific large unicorn.
Oh man!
And so the goal is, if everything goes the way that I would
Drum
like,
roll, please.
spring 2025 Boston Marathon is the plan.
Yeah.
So,
I really hope it works out for you.
thank you. Same here. So if anyone here is watching, who wants a great charity runner, I'm your guy.
I think we know a bunch of good charities, so we can hook you up with somebody.
Yeah, we know some people.
I've got a couple ideas brewing, but now, of course, though, because it's, they opened it up today for qualifiers.
Right.
I can say with confidence that I do not have those split times for that. But
I can confidently say I don't either.
Yes, right. But
Make it 3.
But now I'm like, I can't. Like, when are all the deadlines? When are they announcing the charities? Like, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like getting all nervous so I don't miss anything. But yeah, so that's the plan. I would be lying to you if I told you that I wasn't scared shitless. It is a very daunting thing, especially coming from a person who never thought they would run more than a mile. It's wild. But last year, finishing the half, finishing it 10 minutes faster than I thought I would. And
not a big deal.
Yeah, right. I was kind of like, shit. I think if I actually trained it the right way, I could absolutely double this, And so I talked to my wife about it, because it's not like that training is a small commitment. And we agreed. She's like, please just wait till 2025. And I said, yes, that's fine. And so that's the hope. That's the hope.
Well, we really, really hope it works out. Just I'm going to say when you get your charity, just let us know. We could pop it in the show notes and whatnot, and maybe help you on your fundraising journey. But also, we will be there cheering you on the sideline, because we like to be the mile 19 cheer crew.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of cool experiences when you run the Boston Marathon, but there is no experience like the mile 19 experience right before Heartbreak Hill, when you're running on whatever road that is, and on your left side, runner's left, Erica, you are going to see a banner that says "On the Runs" with some pretty epic, awesome people, and they may or may not have a megaphone.
Excellent.
2 of us may have megaphones.
Yes, because Erica bought me my own megaphone now, and I no longer have to steal hers. She
I
will
may
also
regret it.
have a cooler filled with goodies, drinks, and when you run, if you remember, send her a DM. And if you want
I'll
something
take care
there,
of you.
if you're like, hey, you know what would really get me over the finish line those last 7 miles? A pint of Ben & Jerry's. She will have you a pint of Ben & Jerry's.
Maybe a little melty at that point, but I don't. My coolers aren't that great.
I have a feeling
Pickle
if I had
juice
a
shots,
pint of Ben & Jerry's at mile 19, that would be an excellent on-the-run story to then be told after the fact.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
I don't want to set you
all
up
over
for
the runner in front of me.
I don't want to set you up for any failures, so I'll just leave it to like a beverage or something, like I don't know, a Coke or a pickle
if you
juice
need
shot
like
or
a
something.
sugary snack or something, you like some gummy bears, or if
Candy?
you want us to hold
I got all
goo
that.
for you, like we'll hold it, and so you don't have to carry it. We'll just go and get it. You give us the list about a week before. Make me one promise though, Ben.
Okay. Well,
when
maybe.
you run the Boston Marathon, you will come on the next week and do our Boston Marathon recap episode.
Sure. Deal.
All right, we got
I don't
one.
know if I just signed myself up for something. No, I'm just kidding.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm already planning Boston weeks. How about that? Look at that. And we're what? This is September.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So let's get into those stories you have now that you have this big goal out into the universe.
Let's see here. So I don't have many like truly graphic stories.
I mean, that's probably not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Maybe for our podcast, but
Well, you're a new runner, as we determined in a couple years.
I need some more years might build it up, but
yeah.
Well,
just be prepared. Have the butt wipes with you. Be prepared.
butt napkins. Hashtag no free ads. Unless never mind.
Ryan, unless you want to sponsor us. No, but dude, like, talk about first race experiences, maybe ones that were hard.
Ones that went super well, ones that could have gone better, just anything.
So my first race ever, the Heady Trotter, that one actually was just great. Everyone else hated it because it started snowing that morning.
When does this race take place?
It's late October. So like in Stowe, Vermont, having
that's too early.
a little bit of snow, that's not uncommon. When I lived in Vermont, I think I can count 6 Halloweens that people were trick or treating in snow. But
we did have that one blizzard. I remember there was a blizzard on Halloween.
But that one, that one was just kind of an awesome icebreaker for me. What I will say is we were joking just a few minutes ago about the shoes that people run in. And I will say I did the Harpoon 5-miler this spring, which was gross. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds, blowing rain. It was cold. My sister-in-law did it with me, and I felt really bad for convincing her to do it with me because it was so gross outside. I think I apologized for like a week.
Peer pressure.
But I had a moment where I'm still on the out leg, so I'm probably like between mile 2 and 3. And I actually was having some ankle pain, unfortunately, and I was getting, pretty irritated and grumbling words that I shouldn't say on air to myself about it. And then all of a sudden I hear, some people talking as they're running, coming up behind me. And first off, like when I run, like there's no talking, my body is just like, I sound like I just jump roped in the attic for an hour. It doesn't matter how long I've been running. And so already I'm like, damn it, you can even talk while you're running, And then this dude runs by and he's wearing corduroy and he's wearing Sambas and like he's got like a sweater vest on or something like that. Like, and I was like, what the hell? He's literally, it's raining out. And so that's what you're wearing running it. But like literally this dude just passes me like easily like 3-minute mile faster pace than I am running, and friggin' corduroy. It's just,
that sounds like Chafe City.
Yeah, I can imagine. He's gonna need Gold
choice.
Bond. Yeah, so that was for me a moment where I said, oh, okay. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. But so that was one of those funny moments where you just look at someone and you say, what the hell's going on here? I will say not the dumbest, but maybe the dumbest race I ever did was my first 10K. And so I have really close friends who live on Mount Desert Island up in Maine, up by Acadia. And they had a 10K and half marathon. And here in my head, I'm thinking, like it's going to go like I looked at the course a little bit online. I was like, well, it looks like it's a bunch of it's kind of like right next to the coast. And I know MDI is a big mountain, but like along the coast, it's kind of flat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll do my first 10K there. It's going to be beautiful. I can look at, pretty scenery while I run. I can stay with my friends because they're wonderful. So on and so forth. I think over the 10K, there was 650 feet of elevation change or something like that. It was not flat at all.
It's not for Erica, that's for sure.
And I, like halfway through, I was like, what the hell did I just sign up for? Actually, not halfway through. Within the first mile, you run out of Bar Harbor, and then you take a left-hand turn up a hill that's like this steep for an eighth of a mile. And I was I had serious questions in my head.
It's how they spread the field out.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are usually the best decisions too, when you're like, what did I do? Yep. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. But I finished. It was my first 10K. It was awesome.
I bet you felt great afterwards, though. You were like, hey, look what I just did.
I did, but because I'm really smart, I had to get home that night because we had a commitment the next next morning. And so I ran my first ever 10K on my larger body, and then got in my car for, what is it? Acadia to Boston. I think it's 7.5 hours.
It's a long drive.
Oh.
And I got out of the car at home and I literally just hobbled I basically
yeah.
needed a
Gramps!
cane because I got in the car and everything was just like, okay, we're just gonna relax and seize into this car
No,
treat.
Yeah.
no.
Oh my God.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I looked like just like a wet dog.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty pathetic. So, yeah, that was the silliest thing I've ever done. Let's see here. I'll tell two more. Well, one quick one and then one longer one, I guess.
Go for it.
Um, the almost the most embarrassing moment for me. So I did the with the medley last year. The BAA 10K is you know it's there's always a joke like when you see people roofing a house, they're never roofing on a cloudy, cool day, right?
Yeah.
It's always 90 degrees, direct sun, no breeze. Like that always happens. It's like the BAA 10K, it can never be cloudy, it can never be cool, it's always sweltering. And so for our race, it ended up being mid to high 80s and 80 to 90% humidity.
Ooh.
And so we ran, and they changed the courses here, but the prior course went out towards BU, and we get out, and it's all in direct sunlight, and I just felt like I was baking like a potato. It was so hot. But we finished the race, and my wife and kids cheered me on, and they were at the finish line, and I finish up, and the kids are like antsy at that point, and they're running around because they were 2 and 4 at that point. And then my 4-year-old daughter's like, Dad, I really have to pee. And my wife had run off chasing my son. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I just finished racing. I was like dehydrated and sweating, and like a medical person at the end looked at me and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. But apparently I had that look on my
Dad mode
face.
kicks in though,
You
and
know,
you got to be a dad.
Well, we went into the porta potty, and I wasn't even thinking the porta potty was an oven because it was in the
Yeah.
sun. It was like 100 and 110 degrees, and I'm like bending over trying to help my daughter get herself situated, and she's getting all pissed because sweat is just pouring from my body and dripping on her head. And she's like, Dad, stop, you're dripping on me. And I'm just like, I can't, I'm sorry. And then like she like finished, and it's a porta potty, so I'm also like, don't touch anything, I will do everything. Do not touch anything, because like you and your
boys are the
4-year-old
worst,
yeah,
too.
you and your 4-year-old hands, like I don't need you coming down with a rare disease.
Like, what's this thing here? I want to touch it. Dude, that's where all the guys go pee.
Exactly, right? And so I'm like bending over trying to help, like of course like her shorts get stuck under her shoes like they do for kids, and like so I'm bending, and I almost passed out. I almost keeled because it was so hot, and I was so like tired and slightly and probably majorly dehydrated. I almost like tipped right over.
Oh
And
no.
thankfully I caught myself, and we got her situated. I opened the door, and my wife actually was like right there. I was like, take her, I need a minute. And I just sat down.
Oh my God.
And I was like, how embarrassing would it have been if I actually passed out and my daughter had to like scream for someone to help and open the door, and she's like, help, my dad passed out, and I'm just freaking passed out in
Don't touch anything.
in the porta potty after I just told my kid not to touch anything. So thankfully that didn't happen, but that could have been utterly horrible.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
They really need some more ventilation in those things. It's a hot box and not one that you
they're not
Not
designed for
enjoyable
summer. They're not designed for summer.
make it
Yeah.
roofless or something.
So I find as a parent with young kids, when you do a race or something, and it's like you're the one doing the race, right? When they're there, you don't get time after the race to kind of like celebrate or relax or enjoy your accomplishment. You have to go right back into dad mode. It's like, oh, you got to change a diaper, or you got to pee.
Yep.
And, your kids don't understand so much. You just go right back into dad mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like after that one in particular, because they were antsy. They were super antsy, and they were like, come on, Dad, can we go? Like, we're done.
Well,
Like, we've been waiting for you, and you're not a fast runner, Dad. So can we go?
Yeah. Well, I bet if your kids weren't there, and I would rather have them there too. But I bet when that doctor looks at you, you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take that IV.
Yeah,
I'll
you
give
plug me
myself
in?
a treat. Yeah. But if they're like offering you an IV, and you're like, no, I got to go with my kid, man. I would love. Yeah, no, I'll just have to drink more water. Yep.
Yeah,
You went
pretty
into
much.
dad mode, man. I would have done the same thing.
My favorite is after the half marathon. They give you I got banana and fig Newtons, and my son loves bananas. And I get over to my family, and my son's like, "Dad, you have a banana? Can I have it?" And I was
Yep,
like,
100,
"Yep, here you go." And then my
100%.
daughter saw the fig Newtons, and none of the snacks were left after my
Oh.
kids had it their way with
Dude,
it. I was like,
my
"Yep."
kids took like 3 bananas each after the Delta Dental race we just did, Erica, the 5K in Manchester. I didn't even get a banana. I think I had 6 bananas, but they both ate 3.
Wow.
Yeah. They just see the banana and they go, ooh, 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 ooh.
You'd think
And I'm
6
like,
would
oh,
be enough.
monkey, banana, you want a banana?
Apparently
Ooh.
not. It's cute.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, they're 3. Tommy and Tyler, they're fun. They're a blast. They're starting to get their words, and
Mhm.
it's Tyler's favorite word is no, and it's the cutest no. No, 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 no. It's like you got the controller. You're going through the list of shows. No, 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 no. It's the cutest thing. And Tommy's really cute and fun word is eat, 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 eat. And he
He's
says
a
it
kid
all
after
day. I'm
my
like,
own
dude,
heart.
you can't eat all day. Like he just eats all freaking day long.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. And the way they describe the foods they want is like, banana the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were making it up.
No, I'm not. I
Nice.
didn't teach them that either. They just started doing it. And I'm like, okay, banana. I got you.
Kids are creative.
Oh my gosh, that's too
Hey,
funny.
a question I thought of that could
Yeah.
be fun for a lot of people. Maybe we put like a poll up, but you mentioned the race in Acadia and it
Yeah.
had that hill right in the beginning. You're like, oh my God. Would you rather have a wicked big steep hill in the first mile of a race or the last mile of the race?
First mile. 100% first mile.
I kind of think last.
Why
Yeah,
Personally.
last? Elaborate.
Okay. Um, because at that point, I think at that point, I may be gassed or kicked, but it's like I know I'm so close. Where I think the way my mind works, if I hit the hill early, it just plays too much mind games with me and screws with my head a little too much, and then it's almost like, oh, if I run this too fast, then I'm kicking myself for the rest of the race. And if I run it too slow, then I just lost the chance at maybe the time that I was really hoping to hit because I took it too easy. Where if the hill's at the end, you can almost kind of force yourself to do what you got to do based off of the fact that you already finished most of the race.
That's legit. That's some good reasoning. I'm the one who's like, get it over with.
Yeah.
Get it over with. And then you can kind of like correct or get like your bearings back and get back into your groove. And so that's, plus I hate hills. Hills are the worst.
Yeah.
Eric here.
I
like to
think
hear
I
your
would, I would
reasoning.
vote for the last mile because I think the first mile, it would psych a lot of people out. A lot of people might be like, oh, man, I want to do this, but this hill, like, it's fun to attack a hill at the end. And when like, oh, at the end of this hill, I'm done. And I think with that mindset, you can really attack it versus, I didn't think of it, but Ben, you kind of said it was that first hill. It's like, oh, do I take it too easy? Did I go too hard? And then just you psych yourself out like, oh, I'm really nervous about this hill. Like I'm talking big, steep, Mount Washington kind of hill. I'd rather finish with it.
See, it makes me wonder, like, would you go into it blind, like not knowing what the rest of the course looked like? If
I did that
you had
one
that
time.
first, if you had the hill at first and you're like, oh no, is this what I'm in for? Or if you're like, you're a bomb and you feel great and then you see this hill and you're like, oh no, like it is all mind games. So I don't know. Everybody's got their preference. I would like to see that as a poll.
We'll put it up. When
Yeah,
this
go for
drops, we'll put it up. All right. So, Ben, I've been creeping on you. I'm known to be a little bit of a creeper. I go online, I Google names, I find things out.
Uh-oh.
I found some cool stuff about you. It's all good. It's all good stuff. But you've done a blog, you have a website, and you have been featured in Runner's World magazine.
On their website or the Facebook. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all the same.
Well,
Still
sure.
Runner's
Yeah.
World.
The
They're
internet.
big.
More
Yeah, that
people
was
probably
pretty
saw
cool.
it than Reddit. Let's be honest.
Yes. So this was a few years ago. A writer who writes for Runner's World a lot of times reached out to me because they found my Instagram and my blog. and wanted to, that was kind of before I knelt and dove headfirst into running as much as I am now.
Mhm.
It was a little more the weight loss side, but you know, she reached out just shortly after I think I ran my first 5K, like continuous with no running or with no walk breaks in it. I was kind of at the peak of where I had been going health wise, and they reached out and they asked, hey, we like your story. Would you be willing to talk to us and maybe work on an article together? And I said sure. And it kind of happened similarly to how the BAA one happened, where they had some questions that they sent me, and I responded to them. Asking me about kind of what is, why am I doing it? What's my why? How have I been getting there? What's been successful for me? So on and so forth like that. And I sent it back and we iterated a little bit. So we felt like we had a product that we liked, and then they published it. So yeah, that's kind of how it went down. I'm realizing that's how a lot of this stuff goes down. It's just kind of by chance someone sees you and then a writer reaches out and it's
That's awesome.
kind of wild.
It seems you built a cool little community with your Instagram page. Like you're almost at 10,000 followers. You got the Our Pace, Our Place. Like you're building that. You got a website and a blog. So you've been blogging for a while, and you've had this huge weight loss journey, which I don't even think I've mentioned, but in the article it says you weighed a max of 343 pounds. So, dude, big kudos to you. But you've been very involved in this, your fitness journey, Our Pace, Our Place, and then another one I really like is A Better Ben. Tell us about A Better Ben.
um when you want to start something, it's really hard to think of a name. That was it was when I first sat down and I looked at my wife, I said, I'm gonna write a blog. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
What are you gonna call it? I said, I don't know. um yeah,
I don't know, by Ben.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that could work. Actually,
No, I think what you have is a great ring to it. Has a great ring to it.
and so I sat down and I spent a lot of time thinking of what is my goal. And especially when I started, it was very much more for accountability for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it so that it was really kind of designed for myself and a core group of folks that I knew, loved ones, friends, close, people who I knew would see it,
Mm-hmm.
would respond to me and kind of keep me accountable, and also let me know, you know, that they're watching. And that's what I wanted, because it's so hard, especially when you're trying to change habits and change what you're doing to without kind of having that feedback. It can make it much harder. So that's where I started, and I thought, what's my goal here? Like, I'm not just doing it for weight loss. Like, there's a huge weight loss community on Instagram, and you can kind of tell a lot of the Instagram names have that featured as part of their names. And this, I don't want it to be confused that I'm dissing on that, because I'm not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that is their goal, and that is the message that they're bringing forth. So it's in there. And in my head, I was like, I want this to be part of what's happening, but this isn't my goal. My goal isn't just to lose weight. My goal isn't just to be a runner. My goal isn't just to, you know, do X, Y, or Z or live longer. Oh, well, it's a good goal, but it's not the only kind of thing. And then I, really was just like, I just want to be a better version of myself. I want to be a better dad, a better father, a better husband, a better, brother and son, and as I was kind of thinking about that, then I realized I was like, essentially, I just want to be a better me, or a better Ben. And then I was
Perfect.
like, hey, that kind of just rolled off the tongue. It just kind of works. And that's how it came about.
It's funny how you will think for days, weeks, months, like, what do I call it? What do I call it? And then all of a sudden it just clicks.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, why didn't I think of that in the first place? That's awesome. So I love A Better Ben is awesome, dude.
It's honestly
Well, thank you.
perfect, because it just shows that you're a multifaceted person who has all these different levels, and you're not confined to just one specific thing. So
You
Nice
could
choice.
also like build a brand on it, and the brand could be just like a better insert name here.
So I may or may not have thought about that.
Yeah, I think you should do it.
TM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Well, I've thought about it, and then I'm in my beautiful ADHD ways, I go, deep into something and hyper focus on something for 3 weeks, and then I end up getting distracted by something else and hyper focus on that. And
That's
so
life.
I have a nice notebook full of partially finished ideas for a better Ben. Hopefully some of them can maybe get finished and come to fruition so I can just stop working. But
At least
No,
they're
you will
written down,
work.
though. At
You will
least they're
work
written
a
down.
lot and you will work hard, but you will enjoy every fucking minute of it.
that's
He
fair.
knows,
That's
he
fair.
knows.
Yes.
But yeah, keep your idea notebook going.
And
Evolve these ideas.
remember what you said earlier. Play the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Look
Bet
at
on
you,
yourself.
just using my own words.
You
against me.
do 3. Oh, I wrote it down, dude. I wrote it. Play the long game because if you play the short game, you'll more likely lose. I wrote it down already. But
man.
play the long game. You go 3 weeks hardcore into it, and then you got to table it for a few weeks, and then you go 3 weeks more. Like I'm trying to build a website right now. I think I went like 4 hard days on it, and I don't think I've touched it since. But I have it there.
Sometimes
and,
you have to step away.
Well, I'm just
Clear
busy
your
and
mind a little
something
bit.
else comes up, or we build Monday Night Media or something.
You gotta
We're just
prioritize things.
right.
There's
It's
a
on the
method.
table. It started.
Mhm.
If you go to the website right now, it says currently under construction. I know when I'll work on it next, and the same. Play the long game. That's what we've been doing this whole time, man. And look at us. Like we're not. We still work real jobs, but we're playing the long game here. And maybe this can be something where we work really hard every freaking day of our life, but it will never feel like it.
That's a good point.
It's a passion
That's a great
project.
way to put it.
Yeah. A better Ben. I love it. I love it, dude. I love your message. I love what you're doing. Your banner, I'm looking at it on your website. I'm like, I recognize that place. I was there the other day. That's the giraffe entrance of the Franklin Zoo. But, dude, this is cool. I'm glad we've actually got to talk because if you remember, actually, when we met at the Boston Run show, we didn't get to talk long because someone was really hungry.
I actually remember that.
Yeah. It's like, nice to meet you. I got to go eat. I'm super hungry and getting hangry. But here, give me your number. What's the Instagram? And then I was like, I need to eat. Ben, we have these 2 big final questions. It wouldn't come final, but we have these 2 big questions we ask every guest at least this year, and we'll come up with 2 other ones next year, or at least I will. But mine is something called the Code Brown Commandments. I don't know if you're aware of this, and I might be putting you on the spot, but a Code Brown is any oh crap moment. And a Code Brown commandment is how to avoid an oh crap moments. So sure, a Code Brown could be a real poop story, but it also could be like running into a bear or an alligator or forgetting lube and now you're all chafed up like, oh crap, that sucks. Don't forget lube. So the way we do it is like, thou shall not forget lube, or thou shall use diaper rash cream to cure chafing. So Ben, do you have any Code Brown commandments for us to help a runner or anyone avoid an oh crap moment?
This one's gonna be a little squishy, but
Like the sound of it.
it fits. Well, it fits with my message, and I would say, "Thou shalt realize that you can accomplish more than you think."
God, these things are awesome.
Because we usually are the ones who stop ourselves before anyone else.
This is amazing. You're freaking awesome, dude. Erica, that Code Brown commandment on the list, when we get someone to announce them all, that's the last one. Because that's a great freaking message.
That is a great message.
That's a
Gonna
great
mess up
message.
the order though. They're going in.
Doesn't matter.
episode
or you say it twice. You remind them.
We'll say it twice.
Wow. I'm
That's
trying
gonna be
to
a tough
build
one to
this
beat.
up and say like, oh, give us something good and juicy, and then it's like, nope, I'm gonna hit it hard in the heart here.
Well, you could say, "Thou shalt not try a new energy gel the day of your race."
Well, that's nothing new on race day. That's definitely in
Yeah,
there.
I was
No,
gonna say
you
that.
hit it out of the
I
park,
figured
dude.
that one would be
Nailed it
touched
on the
already.
first try. You're all good, Ben.
Yeah, yeah. That and thou shalt not trust a fart.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some early ones and great ones.
Those are wise words to live by.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
All right, Ben, my question for you. We have an awesome Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add a song to it. So I'm not sure if you listen to music while you run, but whatever song you're feeling at the moment, something that pumps you up, gets you motivated, would you like to add a song to our list?
It's got to be awesome, though. Make sure it's awesome.
It's tough because I'm in like a music crossroads right now
Hmm?
of trying to figure out the playlist that I want, and
Music is hard. It's
It
ever
is
changing.
hard.
And we're asking you like one song. I used to always say like this is the
Right?
hardest question, and Erica thought it was. I was like giving her shit. No, it's serious. Like
It really can
one
be.
song.
one song. So
You can pick one.
I'm gonna say this one, and I may catch flack. I may get judged. I would not consider myself a Swiftie. My daughter has turned into a Swiftie. And so driving to school every morning, there's lots of this. But
Mm-hmm.
the first time I ever heard the song was on a Spotify Run playlist, and it was impactful. And sorry, that was far more dramatic than it needed to be. And the best part was I was actually running in the woods on a trail at the time, but it's Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift. And for some reason, whenever that song comes on, my pace picks up,
Okay.
and I just
don't
just
think
have a
I've
good
heard
time.
that song.
Honestly, whatever is going to do it. It could be
So
Taylor
that's the
Swift.
one.
It could
That's
it
the
could
one.
be a country song. It could be, I don't know,
Country's
classical
awesome.
classical music. Just anything that's going to just get you going. It doesn't. I'm not one to judge.
No,
still love
So-
NSYNC.
I'll say
Erica.
that.
If someone adds a classical music song to the list, they are sabotaging our list.
I don't think so. I've taken many a classical music run from Bex Gentry
Really?
on the Peloton app. Yes, and they are great because classical music doesn't mean it's like Beethoven. Like,
Oh no, that's
I
what
will
I think
send you
of.
I will send you some stuff, and it's actually pretty good. So
There was a ride. I took a classical ride with Christine Dercole years ago, and it was surprising. It was like everything I needed.
Right?
It was surprisingly perfect.
So don't knock it till you try it. So, but your Taylor Swift one will go on the list.
And a lot of people are going to like that. No one's going to be judging
we
you. We have a
got-
lot
we
of
got some
Swifties
Swiftie
on the
fans.
show, and we like to say we're Swifties. Like I play 22 every time it's someone's birthday.
It's pretty good.
Turn 22 every year. I hope people are catching on to that.
I'll be forever 22. Hell yeah.
But no, that I play the song every time. I remember it's someone's birthday. It was just someone's birthday the other day. I can't
It
remember
was
now.
Jay's. It was Jay Duncan's.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, happy birthday, Jay! 3 weeks ago when this drops. You just mentioned this actually, and a lot of your photos are you on a Peloton bike, but you're pretty active in the Peloton community too.
Yeah, I was more so before. I have not been doing it as often lately, but I do love the bike. It's such a great. Yeah, it was really good for me because it's so easy. So yeah,
I gotta get on mine
I'm a
again.
Big fan. Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, but who's your favorite instructor and why is it Matt Wilpers?
I do love Matt Wilpers because I am a huge Power Zone fan.
Yeah.
Same.
But I also love, actually, my two favorites are Dennis Morton, because I want to have his arms, and and actually Christine Dercole because her climb rides actually are what I
Okay.
fell in love with because they are utterly brutal. Like when you go for 45 minutes at 60 plus resistance.
That's a hill. That is a giant hill.
It's a big ass hill.
Well, it
Sorry
is a
if
climb
I-
ride,
no,
so
sorry.
you
Let
can
me,
swear.
let me ask you
That's
this:
not even a swear.
you like the Power Zone rides? I love the Power Zone rides. Are you?
Wicked
do you do the
Smart
Power Zone pack
Zone.
ever? And are you part of Team Wicked Smart Zone?
So I haven't done it in a while because it's been at least a year, but I am part of the Wicked Smart Zone.
Yes, Wicked Smart Zone.
I need
Shout
to-
out to
I really
Josh and
need to-
Janine.
Get on the bikes again.
do.
I haven't
Yeah, I
been
know.
on it in probably since like February.
Yeah,
It's been a long
Wait,
ass
what-
time.
I'm
What?
the same.
After that Peloton challenge, after we went to Peloton, that was it.
You haven't been on your Peloton bike since
I've been running, just straight up running.
what?
Yeah.
You would be like running 100 milers an hour faster if you kept on the bike.
I did do it an hour faster. Yeah,
2
hours
hours
faster. I did it 2 hours
You
faster.
haven't been on the bike since February. This is a whole nother conversation.
We'll talk later.
Oh my God.
Ben, add me on Peloton if you want to.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
I'll find you once I dust it off.
You can ask
Same
me
here.
too. Hey, I just rearranged my Peloton, so I'm going to get on it. I just dusted it. It's no longer a coat rack, and I'm going to do more rides. Let's
Mine's not
start.
dusty.
You
I
guys
have
want
a
to start a
cover on
fucking
it.
tripod, a Peloton tripod? Three
Do
of
you
us?
want to?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I gotta
Hey.
do. I
We
have
have
all
to-
these 100-milers. I can't do it right now.
We'll start
I do
after
it
Yeti.
twice a week. I can do it
But
twice
we
a week.
have to be committed because what happens if one of us stops when we're a fucking tripod?
We
Falls
fall over.
We fall.
Fine. I can commit to twice a week.
Especially with it being winter soon. Like,
Winter is easier to
Well,
be
and I need to
inside.
add cross training in.
yeah.
I need
Yeah.
You're gonna have to when you got marathon
All right.
training.
Yeah.
Welcome to the tripod.
Fingers
Does that? Did you guys ever watch? I always steal that from the movie The Girl Next Door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ben, man, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for jumping on. We've been talking about doing this since we met at the Run Show, and then we chatted a few times over the summer, and finally we got to it now that it's fall and it's sweater weather. And you're doing the BAA half marathon coming up, and you're back on that climb after the surgery you had this a few months ago, and then the 2025 Boston Marathon. It's going to happen, like Erica said. Not
We
if,
are
but
sending
when.
all of these like acceptance vibes your way. All of these
Yep.
easy fundraising ideas your way.
I
And
love
when
it.
you
We're gonna
do
get
it,
you there.
you're going to send us the links, and we're going to help share and promote your fundraising charity options, whoever it is you do the fundraising for. And after the race, you'll come back on the On the Runs podcast for the Boston Marathon recap with you and two others. So we got one locked down. This is super awesome.
It'll be fun, we promise.
It could be you, someone else, and Zdeno Chara. I'm going to try to get Chara. He runs it every year.
I mean, you should do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Keep that on
pressure.
DL.
Okay.
Don't tell anyone.
I won't post it.
Yes, this is quiet. No one's listening. But it's a lot of fun. Thank
This
you,
is great.
Ben. Erica, you got anything else for Ben before we go?
I don't know. I'm just so proud of all the work that you've accomplished and all that you are still accomplishing. You have your head on the good shoulders, and I just wish you so much luck with everything that you do. And we're rooting for you. We're so excited for everything that's coming up for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Well,
I'm proud of you, dude. I'm super happy we met. We've connected. Super proud. Like, I don't care about the 30 pounds that have come back. You are still
That's
freaking
life, man.
active.
It's
You go
life.
skiing, you go running, you go hiking. You're an active dad. You do everything with Hopper and Paka. I'm super proud. I want to go skiing with you. I go to Ragged Mountain every weekend in the summer. Not the summer, in the wintertime. If you ever want to go to Ragged with me and the kids, like, we'll go. I think your daughter and
All right.
mine. There's a few years in age gap. She's 8, so
right.
but it'd be Ragged's an amazing family
That's
mountain.
great.
Yeah.
You do a good job.
Harper sounds like she's really good at skiing, so
Yeah.
I think you're
I think it would be
Adeline will
fun.
be able to
You've
keep
skied your
up.
whole life.
They're
I
good.
skied my whole life. But I'm going to put you on the spot here. Usually I say something like, guys, I hope you enjoyed Ben Crosby on the On the Runs podcast, or Erica might say something. It's usually me. But I'm going to put you on the spot because you really have some good one-liners here, some good messages, some good quotes. If you could leave everyone with one message, what would you tell them?
This is what I'd say. This was a blast. I had fun talking about this, but at the end of the day, I think the challenge for everybody is if you want to get better or if you want to do something, the first thing you need to do is sit down and write down 5 reasons why you deserve it and why you're worth it. And then put those up on your fridge. That's what I'll say.
perfect. Perfect starting point.